The Great Deception. New Zealand's self-image of historical innocence is a damaging fiction. This myth, perpetuated by conservative nationalism, relies on the systematic suppression of a colonial past defined by illegal land confiscation, cultural suppression, and violence. This sanitization is deliberate policy, institutionalized through an education curriculum and political reinterpretations of the Treaty of Waitangi that soften a brutal truth: colonization entrenched systems of segregation, racism, and economic deprivation. The legacy of this foundation is directly reflected in the systemic inequality suffered by Māori and Pacifica communities today. Upon this bedrock of racial injustice, a broader underclass was formed along the lines of gender, identity, and social status, marginalizing LGBTQ and individuals, refugees, and others through law and custom. We cannot solve the problems of the present while denying the violence of the past, yet this is precisely the path our current right-wing nationalist government has chosen to cement its power. Its guiding ideology appears not to be public service, but the transfer of wealth and power to the corporate private sector, and it enforces this vision by eroding the very principles of democratic discourse. When expressing a dissenting opinion invites threats of violence, litigation, or public harassment, open debate collapses, replaced by the silent, autocratic rule of intimidation. The evidence for this agenda is a clear and damaging pattern of policy. It began by attacking social equity, dismantling pay transparency measures designed to close the wage gap for women and minorities. It then moved against the working class, weakening worker protections and bargaining power. These actions, combined with policies that fueled speculative investment in housing, exacerbated a cost of living crisis. The result is a brutal dichotomy: as families are forced into austerity, corporations reap record profits from the same inflated market. Simultaneously, the government has launched an assault on national identity, implementing educational reforms that marginalize the Treaty of Waitangi and establish the teaching of Māori language and culture. This not only rewrites our history but actively silences an integral part of our national voice. It has prioritized private profit over public and planetary health, promoting fossil fuel development with new mining contracts and proposing the fire sale of national assets, sacrificing our long-term environmental and economic sovereignty for immediate corporate gain. After 3 years, the balance sheet is clear: the public owes more, has less, and has seen the mechanisms of democratic accountability weakened. The fundamental question we must ask is whether we want another 3 years of this deliberate dismantling. Description. This text presents a forceful critique of New Zealand's national self-perception, arguing that the country's image of historical innocence is a damaging myth. It contends that this myth, perpetuated by conservative nationalism, deliberately suppresses the brutal realities of colonial history, including illegal land confiscation and cultural suppression. This historical erasure is directly linked to the systemic inequalities faced by Māori and Pacifica communities today. The text further accuses the current right-wing government of intensifying this legacy through a clear agenda: transferring wealth and power to the corporate sector while systematically dismantling social equity, worker protections, and democratic principles. From attacking pay transparency and worker rights to marginalizing Te Tiriti o Waitangi in education and promoting environmentally destructive policies, the government is portrayed as enacting a deliberate program of social and democratic erosion for corporate gain. The piece concludes by framing the next election as a critical choice about whether to continue this path of dismantlement.